Uh, Dear students, today we will discuss some theorems and boundedness of the set. It includes in real analysis, BSc Part 2nd, Paper 1st. First theorem, how can we show that 1 is greater than 0? Proof in a field 1 and 0 are two numbers and two numbers are not equal to 0. So 1h not equal to 0. Now 1 belongs to field. 1 is not equal to 0. So 1 square is greater than 0 because for all x in field, if x is not equal to 0, then x square is greater than 0. So 1 square is greater than 0. So implies then 1 is greater than 0. So it is proved. Next theorem. If A is member of field, A is greater than 0, implies that 1 upon A, it means its multiplicative inverse is also greater than 0. So proof, let it possible that 1 by A is less than 0. We have assumed it. Now since A is greater than 0, 1 by A is less than 0, implies that their product A into 1 by A less than 0 by this theorem for all AB belongs to field members. If A is positive and B is negative, so their product is less than 0. So here A into 1 by A less than 0. So after solution 1 less than 0, which is a contradiction that 1 is greater than 0. Hence our assumption is false. Hence 1 by A is greater than 0. Now third theorem, if x and y are two members of the ordered field, then show that x square plus y square divided by 2 greater than or equal to x into y. It's a proof x and y, two members of the field. So their difference x minus y is also belongs to f due to closureness because f is a field. So x minus y square greater than or equal to 0 by theorem because square of every field member is greater than or equal to 0. So expanding x minus y whole square, x square plus y square minus 2xy greater than or equal to 0. So transferring 2xy on right side. So we have x square plus y square greater than or equal to 2xy. Dividing both sides by 2 because 2 is positive number, so direction of the inequality will not be changed. So x square plus y square upon 2 greater than or equal to xy. So it is a complete proof of the theorem third. Now we will discuss the boundedness concept. First we define upper bound, that is said to be uparibandh. Let S be a set. This set is said to be bounded above if there exists a real number k1 such that x is less than or equal to k1 for all x belongs to S. This x belongs to S. It means every element of the set is less than or equal to k1. This element k is said to be upper bound an upper bound. Any number greater than k1 is also an upper bound. So we can find infinite number of upper bounds. The upper bounds of the set may contains in set or not. Now we define supremum. Since we know that for a set we have infinite number of upper bounds. So least in all infinite upper bounds will be contained in set or not is said to be supremum of the set. This supremum of the set may contain in the set or not. Now we define lower bounds. निम्न बंध. Let S be a set. A real number k2 is said to be lower bound. If there exists a real number k2 such that this k2 is less than or equal to x, it means all members of the set are greater than or equal to k2. So this k2 is said to be lower bound of the set. Any number less than k2 is also lower bound. So we can define infinite number of lower bounds. So greatest in all lower bounds is said to be infimum of the set. So infimum of the set is defined as the greatest in all lower bounds. So we can say that a set is said to be bounded if there exist two real numbers k1 and k2 such that k2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to k1. It means all elements of the set are lies between k2 and k1 or equal to them. Then we can say the set is said to be bounded. For example, set is contains set of natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So this set is not bounded above because you can't get any real number from which the all elements are less than. So there exist not upper bounds. Now all elements of the set are greater than or equal to 1. So 1 is lower bound. Any number less than 1 is also lower bound. So we can find infinite number of lower bounds. But 1 is greatest among all infinite lower bounds. So infimum of the set is 1. Now let us define a finite set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now all elements of the set A are less than or equal to 7. So 7 is upper bounds. Any number greater than 7 is also upper bound. So 7, 7.1, 7.01, 8, 100 and etc. They are all upper bounds. But least in all upper bounds is 7. So supremum of the set is said to be 7. Similarly, we can define 1 as a infimum of the set because all elements are greater than or equal to 1. So 1 is lower bound. Any number less than or equal to 1 is also lower bound. Hence, we can say that This set A contains infimum as a 1, supremum as a 7. Let us define another set B. It contains only 5. All elements of this set less than or equal to 5. So 5 is a upper bound. Any number greater than 5 is upper bound. 6, 7, 8 are all upper bounds. But 5 is the least among all upper bounds. So supremum of the set is 5. Similarly, we can define infimum of the set, which is also equal to 5. So in this set, it is a single set. It is a finite set. So infimum and supremum of the set is 5 only. Hence the theorem. This concept very important.